All right. No clapping.
Sorry.
Hey, everybody. This is the Seniors on JV podcast, episode 0, I think is what we're calling this one. It's going to be our 00. It's our introduction podcast. So I am guest and star host Kennedy Smith.
I'm Ryan Steer, student over here. Jake and I here are roommates.
And I am a washed up high school athlete that's aspiring to run track and field.
Okay.
Collegiately.
Tell them who you really are.
Okay. Well, I run track with Kennedy. We're both from the same high school. She actually got me committed to Texas A&M, which is a long story. I don't know if we'll get into that. But basically, I'm here because of Kennedy, and she thinks that, and I'm going to tell her that to make her happy.
No, I specifically remember walking home from class one day because I'm a year older, and I was on the phone with Coach Henry, and I sent him your stats, and I said, you need to take a look at this guy. And a few weeks later, you're on a visit, and look, you're here. That was all me, 100%.
We'll agree to disagree this time, but we're here for the podcast. This is Seniors on JV. Basically, me and Ryan are notoriously yelling at each other above on these couches during football games, basketball games, just any debate.
About literally anything.
And Kennedy is also just a good mediator. She brings a different aspect to these conversations. A little flair, a little pizzazz, maybe some makeup.
A little female perspective.
A little female perspective.
To
so
tame these white males.
So we're going to try to speak our minds, speak what we want. We have some ideas online, as well as we have some interesting friends at A&M that we think are a lot cooler than us and deserve a voice.
Yeah, we've got some interviews lined up, not even just A&M, but beyond in the professional realm of sports too. So it'll be fun stuff.
And one shout out, we do have a fourth mic, and it is Invisible Tanner. He is on the staircase right now.
Invisible Tanner coming in. Stats don't lie. Hitting you with the hard hitting facts.
So I guess we'll start it off talking about who we are as athletes. I'll go first. I am a 100-meter hurdler. I run D1 at Texas A&M. I think my best stat that I have is that I was an all-SEC runner, so I made the SEC finals my sophomore year, and I've just kind of been balling since then. So I really shouldn't even be on this podcast because Seniors on JV, I'm a senior on varsity. I'm just here for the fun of it.
And to put in perspective, scoring at SECs in a sprint event, top 8 in the SECs is basically top 16, if not better, in the nation. So the SEC is paramount above all.
So I should not even be in here.
It just means more.
It just means more, and some people are more accomplished on this podcast than others, and we are going to get into that. But
and I will hold it against you.
yes,
100%.
but back if we want to talk about me, if you want to think of leveling or athletic accomplishments, I was a national indoor qualifier last year for the 4x4. I might have had Bryce Deadman, an Olympic gold medalist, on that relay to carry us to the qualifying time, but I did lead us off and handed the baton off in first place.
Good job.
And I run the 200, 400. I don't do sprints anymore as I've had a few injuries, as Kennedy knows, and probably my roommates too, is I'm always hurt. But
that is literally what Jake is known for. He is hurt about 100% of the time.
As for myself, I would say, speaking of peak athleticism, I am a notorious 2-time intramural football semifinalist. Also known for getting 6 interceptions in a season, no big deal.
what year?
What year? My freshman and sophomore year.
So
Did you
6
catch?
interception combined?
No,
or
6 interceptions in a
What,
season.
but what level of team are you? Because at my high school, there was 3 freshman team.
This is in college.
Oh, you were talking. Oh.
My question
Hi-
is, did you catch 6 interceptions or you threw 6 interceptions?
I caught 6 interceptions. Played wide receiver on offense, couple touchdowns. I was more of a defensive player, but
But just to put in perspective, our 2 houses, we have 2 houses right next door. There's 7 other people. They all ran a 400-meter above the rec, I guess 2 Sundays ago. What place did you get?
I got 7th.
You got dead last.
To be fair, Tanner, our 4th guest, did not run because he's scared. So 7th out of 8th is what I say.
So
Not
he's
less.
Invisible Tanner on and off the podcast is what I'm hearing.
I'll plead the fifth on that one. I'm not going to comment on false statements.
All right, so while you're here, Invisible Tanner, tell us what you can find on the internet about our stats and who we are as athletes.
Yeah, so right now, Kennedy Smith, great 60-meter hurdler. And sprinter, looking like she ran a 8.36 60-meter hurdle 2021 indoor.
Okay,
Wow.
that was
It's impressive.
That wasn't even the best
that
one.
was a random meet you just pulled out.
What?
My PR is
Hold on.
8:20.
Wait, let
I
him-
don't-
let him-
hold on, hold on.
Credit.
I'm
Let
stats.
Invisible Taylor talk.
I'm stats. It doesn't matter what stats I pull up.
Give
The
me
stats
some
I pull up
credit.
are the stats I'm going to say.
Okay, I'll correct
Okay.
you later.
Okay. Moving on to Jake Lanier. Wow. Jake's stats pretty impressive. All-time best 200-meter run 21:39.
That's pretty
That's
bad.
pretty
fast.
slow.
That's
fast.
slower
That
than
is
I ran in
weak.
high school. If you
That's
wanna-
weak.
That's
That's
slower
faster
than
than
high
some
school.
of the guys on our team. I'll say that.
That's to me that seems very impressive. That's
That's
the one that
slower
caught
than I
my
ran in
eye.
high school.
That caught my eye.
That caught your eye.
And when you search up Ryan Steer's name on Google and look up stats, only thing that comes up is his Instagram page. And his Instagram page, the stat line that drew
What's his
my eyes
ratio?
most is he only has 2 photos, but guess how many followers he has?
What's the ratio? Positive or negative?
Oh, he's got a positive ratio.
Oh, it's very positive.
What's
Very
the ratio?
positive. 1390 to 816.
Don't get it
Whoa.
twisted.
Okay,
Don't
I
get it
follow
twisted.
How many
But,
fake
but
accounts
what is
follow
more?
you?
What is more surprising? What is more surprising? I noticed is he might have almost 1,400 followers, but only gets an average of 221
Oh,
likes on a
disrespect.
post.
Disrespect.
Wow.
So
This is what happens when you're an
seems
Instagram
like
ghost.
Ryan Steer might have some ghost followers.
Okay, so I'll be holding this podcast on my back. Y'all are so lucky to
Wait,
have me because
but-
I hit 6,000 followers this morning. So
And that's why you're on the podcast.
Basically
You
famous.
bring a lot more clout to our team.
lot
But
of
Tanner,
clout.
what can you look at Kennedy's? Are you looking at her T-first page? What was her last outdoor race last year? Let's go into that. What happened last outdoor season?
what, my Baylor meet?
Yeah, well,
That's so rude.
no, it's not rude.
I didn't even
The-
finish. So I ran a Baylor.
What
last
was the
year.
time? What was the time?
There was no. I didn't cross the line. It
I
said
want
did
to
not
visit.
score.
I want Tanner to say it.
Okay, what does it say?
It does say D&E.
DNF.
Oh!
DNF. Or
DNF.
DNF.
DNF
yeah.
did not finish. So
Uh-oh.
last outdoor season, I was halfway through my race at Baylor and I fell, tore my ACL, and had to be out for the season and get surgery. And last week was my first meet back. So about 7 months into a 9-month recovery, and I'm 3 meets in. So we're gonna see how this season goes. It's been pretty iffy so far.
And honestly, sitting in the stands, Kennedy's parents could probably say I was a little nervous, and so was her fan club. Kennedy has a fan club in the stands, and we didn't know where Kennedy was gonna run. It could have been sub 9, over 9, which kind of like sub 9, or 9 seconds in the 60 hurdles is like, if you're above 9, it's a little rough, to say the least.
I mean,
Division 1, SEC, if you're above 9, that's a little rough.
for context, me personally, I haven't run a 9 since my freshman year of high school.
Yeah. So we just didn't know where Kenny's legs were gonna be, and she ended up running 8:55.
55.
8:55.
I ended up winning my first meet back.
8:55 beat Central Arkansas A&M, University of West Kentucky, but
Prairie View.
yeah, Prairie View A&M, but it was quite eventful. As my roommates now, I kind of have a little fan club, and Tanner can attest that they kind of got chirped, and they weren't allowed to bring my fat head into the stadium.
I did get yelled at by an attendant for getting too rowdy and close to the edge of the stand. So
Invisible Tanner, could you go and find Jake's fat head for us? I'm pretty sure
It's
it's in
over
a
there.
windowsill.
It's
It's over
a
there.
windowsill.
Invisible Tanner, are you gonna make yourself visible?
He's not
Tanner is
visible.
now
ladies and
Tanner is
gentlemen.
now visible, but
No, only his butt's visible. We didn't see his face.
yeah, why is this not one of our props?
That's a good question. Hey, we
Hide
learned. This
your
is why
face
it's
a bit.
episode 0. We're learning on the way.
This is Fat Jake.
Two chin,
Compared
two
to what?
chin,
Skinny Jake over here?
No, this was a 225-pound Jake.
two chin Jake,
Two
in the
Jake.
cut.
Jake used to be 235, and
Woo!
now he's a clean 199.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm
Did you gain weight?
205, 203, 205.
Oh, good for you.
No,
Sponsored by Chipotle
Sponsored by Chipotle, Slocum,
and Piata.
and Piata.
Okay.
But I guess what about you, Ryan? Let's go into you. What do you bring to the table? Is the real question.
Why are you a senior on JV?
Why are you?
I'm a senior on JV because I was on varsity as a football player in high school. Didn't really play. Rode the bench. Left bench was my favorite. But I provide a unique perspective as someone who is the opposite of a D1 athlete. I feel like I can provide my own spin on things. Jake and I like to debate I'm very good at arguing. I
Ryan
win
has
almost
the
every
biggest
time.
arguments and does not back it up. Like it's like me and him are like Skip Bayless, Max Kellerman. I'm right. He knows he's wrong, but he's gonna argue it just because it's the other way.
But sometimes that's fun.
Oh, it's very fun.
I'll argue about something I have no clue what I'm talking about, but I'm right.
The problem is Jake and I, we think we're always right no matter what. So we kind of never reach a middle ground. But that's always
See,
the
y'all
fun.
can think you're right, but I want you to know now, like, I'm always right. And
Well,
it's
that
not
makes
just
three of
because I'm
us.
Kennedy, it's because I'm a female. We're
Well,
always
That
right.
makes 3 of us.
Well, you're not always right because Tanner said you're only a 3-time academic.
Okay. I am already graduated from this school, and I was on the academic honor roll every semester. This is my 9th semester on it, so I don't want to hear.
The stat sheet doesn't lie, ma'am.
So
That's all
Tyler
that will be
Pounds
said.
got it
That's
wrong
all that will
then.
be said.
No,
so
I get my information from Texas A&M.
Tyler
track
Pounds Communications.
it was wrong.
Excuse me?
Tyler Pounds, he's our communications guy for the A&M roster.
Well, Tyler Pounds?
Yeah.
He's not doing his job right.
Woo. Well,
Never
I
doubt
didn't say
Tanner.
it. I love Tyler.
I love Tyler too.
I didn't say
Invisible
it.
Tanner with the controversial topics.
So, in the future for this podcast, we plan on having some fun little segments. I think one of the main things we're going to do is a lot of interviews. So, lined up for our first episode 1 official is going to be with my boyfriend, Asa Lacey.
Who's
Top
Asa?
5.
Who is Asa?
Top 5 MLB pick.
Whoa.
Pitcher.
4.
Number 4 to be
Four.
specific.
Fourth,
Out of
first
Texas
pick-
A&M.
first-
Let me introduce my boyfriend.
Okay, I'm sorry. It gets me hyped. It gets me
It's a-
hyped. I love baseball. I love baseball.
No, you just love my boyfriend.
I do.
Asa
Yeah,
Lacey
Jake does.
is my boyfriend. He played baseball at A&M, but he was the number 4 overall pick of the 2020 MLB draft for the Kansas City Royals.
There we go.
He is actually next week about to go to spring training, so we're going to catch him and film an episode right before he leaves. Break my heart. And then I think we're going to do one of these with the Athing Mo.
Olympian, gold medalist out of Texas A&M.
Two-time.
Two-time
gold medalist.
representing
19 years old.
representing the United States of America.
And,
Absolute legend.
And I've worn her gold medal. And she might bring them for the podcast.
And she's
She's
faster
definitely
than
bringing it
Jake.
for the podcast. That's a guarantee.
She's faster than Jake in the 400 in his own event.
It's
so
happened.
It has happened.
And let's not talk about that.
And we'll have many more guests. We'll have many more guests. Also, we're going to do segments where... What are some of our segments going to be?
We're going to talk about Jake's thoughts. Jake's thoughts are going to be...
Who needs that?
Jake's thoughts.
They're going to be random, best believe.
Jake's thoughts. I have some good ones. And then also I have amazing business ideas. I just don't have the capital to fund them. And that is where I'm going to pivot into my business decisions in College Station and what we are lacking.
Is this a sports podcast or Jake's business degree? What is this?
It's kind of like
It's all inclusive.
it's all-inclusive college
This
culture.
is what happens in my head. This is what happens in my head.
We'll keep all updated with how they're doing in track every week. Talk a little sports, debate a little bit,
We'll talk about pop culture, sports
Pop
topics.
culture.
What happens in...
Q&As, college advice, the best we can give from our own experiences.
We don't really have very good experiences.
We don't have very good
But we like to
experiences.
talk about
But
them.
we like to talk about it. We like to discuss, deliberate.
Yeah, we'll give our best stories from on and off the fields and tracks and give you all a little behind the scenes of what goes on around here. So it'll be a fun semester getting to know us.
As
And-
well as our good guests. Because
Oh, well,
sometimes
our
they...
guests will be 14 million times cooler than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Look forward to
14 million times cooler
There you
than
go.
y'all.
There you go.
Fair.
Not me. So we hope y'all join and subscribe to our journey of the Seniors on JV podcast.
Cut.
Should we say get off the bench at the end?
Cringy.